Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I am here at this secret location deep within Motor City because guess what? We have what you have been wanting to see right here next to me. What is it? It's your updated, changed up, refreshed 2025 GMC Yukon. This is the top dog, the Denali Ultimate. But before we get into this full-size, full-on luxury SUV from General Motors Truck Company, let's talk about what's going on here. If you look at GMC, they really have done an amazing job not only sticking to their roots with their truck lineup, but also bringing a full lineup of SUVs. Of course, SUVs still one of the hot topics in the auto industry. Lots of people wanting more from their vehicles, and what GMC has done with this 2025 Yukon has given you more. Now, some of the things that they've done is actually changed up their lineup a little bit to really help with the overall buying experience. And then on top of that, we have an all new trim, which I'm actually gonna give you a totally separate review to see all the details on that. But what I wanna find out is, if you're looking for the biggest, the baddest, and of course, that GMC design and philosophy, is the Yukon Denali Ultimate the way to go over the competition? Let's go ahead, let's find out what's new, what's different, and if it is the one you should be getting. Let's check it out. Right off the bat, that familiar face, that familiar size. This is a true full-size body on frame SUV. And it's interesting because GMC, I think, has done a really great job creating that unique personality, even though this platform is shared with its sibling brands. Now, at the front of the business, this is where you're gonna see a new updated look. So what do we have going on here? New signature headlights with your daytime running lamp, full LED. I think it's smart how they took that kind of C-shaped design and they did a little bit different interpretation with it. You'll notice how they take the actual body color sharply into that headlight housing, and then everything kind of wraps around in this lower L area. Really, really nicely done, not only with that signature lighting, but also on the interior of the headlight housing, lots of nice detail. And I think that's something that you're gonna really like with the new updated Yukon, is just the attention to detail. Now, as we drop down to ground level, you have a LED fog lamp nicely nestled in this area. Just a little bit of gloss black works very well, especially with the color that we have here at our secret location. And I think that's one of the things that I like about the Denali Ultimate, even from the current model year example into this new update, is that you're not getting a lot of blingy chrome. They really have done a great job kind of looking at what the industry is asking for and taking some of those shiny bits that are traditionally that bright shiny chrome and giving it a little bit darker existence. Now, as we come across that front grille, such a signature style immediately in any GMC vehicle, especially on the Yukon. Nice, big and bold. You can see our dark chrome grille instead of the shiny kind of fuddy-duddy chrome grille stuff. On the GMC badge, look at the way they have that topographical map within the letters. Remember how I was telling you about the attention to detail? This is something that GMC is bringing farther forward. Of course, you're gonna have, since we're talking about forward, you're gonna have a forward-facing camera. Very important when navigating with this vehicle. And then working your way down, just a little bit of gloss black, and then I'm really liking the aluminum style finish on the lower end. Now, you'll notice that we have active shutters behind the grille that are gonna open and close, obviously to help with efficiency, whether it's aerodynamics, whether it's cooling. But let me know what you think in the comments section about the new face of the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. Now, as we rise up, before we talk about what's underneath the hood, let's talk about trims. So this is the top dog, right? You want the ultimate luxury, you want that ultimate GMC-esque, this is the way to go. What happens to the other trims? Well, SE and SEL have been eliminated. And you might think that that's a bad thing, but I actually think that's a good thing. And the reason why is it kind of simplifies their lineup and it makes it fall perfectly into alignment with their other models, the Acadia that we brought to you. Obviously, we're going to be hopefully looking at the new Terrain. These are things where they're kind of simplifying that lineup. So SE, SEL are gone. So what do you have? Your starting point is going to be Elevation. Then you work your way up to Denali. Now there's, almost forgot. For the off-road people, we can't forget the AT4. So you have Elevation, AT4, Denali, and then there's a new trim, which I'm going to do a separate review of the vehicle right next to me. That's going to be the AT4, what am I saying, AT4 Elevation. That is the AT4 Ultimate. So we will be doing a separate review. This is the all-new trim for model year 2025. And they did it because that's what a lot of their customers were asking for. And then, of course, the top dog, like I said, is this Yukon Denali Ultimate. Now, underneath the hood, you still got that nice big bold hood. Love the way all the body lines are super tight. It's almost like the Egyptians built this Yukon Denali Ultimate because of just how nice all of the gaps and everything lines up perfectly. Let's talk about what's underneath the hood. You're still going to have your 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. That's going to put out 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. You're also going to be able to get your optional 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8. That's 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. The big news is that you still have the availability of the Duramax turbo diesel engine. And the even better news is underneath the hood, if you go with that option, and the great news is that it's available on all the trims, you're actually going to get more. They've increased horsepower, 305 horsepower. They've increased torque, 495 pound-feet of torque. They've increased the efficiency, and they actually made it a cleaner running diesel engine. So how can you argue with any of that? Of course, you're still going to have that 10-speed automatic transmission. So nice to see that they're still giving it, letting you have it your way, almost like Burger King, giving you those different engine options. And that's why, like I said, to have the simplicity of the trim levels, but to still offer those three distinct engine choices really makes a lot of sense. Now, as we come around the bend, get ready for this one. First time on a GMC Yukon, you have 24-inch wheels. And I'm really, really digging how they've separated their brand from Chevrolet, from Cadillac. Love the intricate style. You have this V-spoke design. Look at the way they took the Denali name and laser etched it into the actual wheel. But it's one of those things that I feel like it really kind of translates well into the design, especially with the color. Because like I said, you can tell it's a 24-inch wheel. It's a large wheel, but it's not too in your face like maybe some of the other examples of 24-inch wheels that we've shown you. And I really think it has the luxury side, but it also has a nice ruggedness to it as well. If you're wondering, well, what kind of tire is wrapped around this massive wheel? You have 285 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and of course they went through all of the suspension and chassis tuning to make sure that you have that particular ride that you expect from a Yukon, especially a Denali Ultimate, that signature style with the way that they designed the fender openings and everything else, just very nicely all tied together with the updates for 2025. Now, as we continue down the side, always like having a little bit of badge, let people know that you went all the way in on your Yukon Denali, that Ultimate trim with the dark blacked out chrome finish. Of course, you have the Denali name still from the side. And when you look at this vehicle, especially in this color, it just really kind of brings it up to another level. And I think that that's something that they really hit the nail on the head. Of course, when you open up the doors, you're going to have those automatic dropping running boards. Always like these because you have the clean look, and then when you need them, they're there when you open up the door. Working our way towards the rear, of course, what you see from the side is going to be a lot of the same as the current model year, but I think the biggest thing, like I said, is the different trims that they've attached to the body, and also these 24-inch wheels. I mean, that's massive, literally massive. Now, as we come around the backside, just like we started at the front of this Yukon Denali Ultimate, for a large SUV, it's actually super clean. And one of the big benefits of making it look so clean is how you don't have that exposed wiper. So we have our wiper still tucked in to that nice long roof spoiler that's gonna swing down and clean off the rear glass. Look at the way they've done the new taillights. Full LED, love the way it matches what you see up front with the headlight design. Of course, you got a little bit of dark chrome finish, the Denali name, nice and prominently displayed. Even the touches with the GMC badge, and of course, the Yukon badge. And then working our way down to ground level, still gonna have that quad tip exhaust, fully functional exhaust, and I love the way they did the staggered tips. It just gives a nice touch of sportiness to this large SUV. You take off the cover, of course, you're still gonna be able to do your towing, well over 8,000 pounds of towing capacity. But why don't we go ahead? The outside is just the first part. Let's get into the inside of this new 2025 Yukon Denali Ultimate and see what's different. All right, guys, we are inside this updated, changed up, refreshed, improved 2025 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. I know you're saying to yourself, Joe, this is one bad mamma jamma. I'm really liking the look of the outside. I can't wait to hear about pricing. Well, and that's something that, remember, we don't have pricing yet. And don't forget that this is a pre-production, so we're getting that early look from GMC to bring it to you. But stay tuned, because we will be bringing you the information, all the stats on the pricing, everything else that we've talked about for you in even greater detail, especially when we do the first drive. But why don't we go ahead, let's see what changes GMC decided to make for this 2025, not only Yukon Denali Ultimate, but remember the whole Yukon lineup. To the door panels, absolutely love the attention to detail. Like I said, outside and especially the interior, the leather, the real open pore wood, all of that contrast stitching is perfectly on needlepoint. And then you'll see that on the armrest section, how they do that intricate pattern with the stitching all the way across. Nice soft touch material. The two-tone is classy without being too over the top. Of course, you have that GMC trademark Twinkie tray in the center there. 4 Twinkies easily put. And then we're gonna have our Bose premium sound system, nice large aluminum speaker grill cover. And then that door pocket is perfect for Motor City, because you could easily get 4 Coney dogs in there and a Dr. Pepper to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. The materials, the stitching, you'll notice how they have the topographical map in the wood. And one thing that they did was they actually lowered the dash in front of the passenger by 1 inch, just to give you a little bit better visibility. So it's not just they're thinking about the driver, they're actually thinking also about the passenger in the front seat. But you'll see all that topographical map that's been etched in, just like your grandpa used to whittle his wood. They did that on the nice open pore wood trim. You do have a side pocket here, big enough, I would say, probably for 4 Slim Jims. So easy access, just like Macho Man Randy Savage always wanted. And then you're gonna have even more stitching, especially the material right by your knees. They really upgraded that. Now, on the side, you'll notice how we have that Ultimate name there, just so your passenger knows that you went big with your Yukon, especially the Denali Ultimate. Up top, we have a new compartment with felt lining. So if you have your iPhone 47 Platinum Edition, you could fit that in there. And it's almost big enough to where some of these phones that are the size of iPads can fit up there. Nice, easy storage with the stitching. Working your way down, what do we have? A new 16.8-inch infotainment system. Love the way it's integrated. You know how everybody complains, why are the infotainment systems just stuck on the dash? Why do they look just like a screen that's been stuck on with bubble gum and double-sided tape? I like the way GMC has integrated their infotainment system. And what's wonderful about this, it's nice and large, but it's not too over the top. Let me know how you feel about this, or if you prefer something like we showed you in the Cadillac Escalade, where it's got 55 inches of screen. I'm more this type of person, where I have the technology, this is large enough. Now, what they also decided to do is they want you to use this like you would your iPhone or your Android phone. So you're gonna have all of those apps where you could click and drag and drop. And as you can see, it's very, very intuitive. You have your Alexa, you have your Google, the whole Google Assistant, you have your Android Auto, your Apple CarPlay, all those things nicely put into this screen, plus the way that it functions just like your cell phone does. Now, working your way down, don't worry, everything is not in the screen. You do have a real deal volume knob. I think that is super important. Things for like your heated and ventilated seats, those things have been pulled aside. So instead of having to go into a menu to get to your heated seat, to get to your ventilated seat, you have your easy access touchscreen icon that's exactly where you would think it would be, because right below that is all of the physical controls for your dual climate. This was something that they talked to Yukon owners, and the Yukon owners wanted physical buttons for AC control. So you're still gonna have your nice toggle buttons here. Look at the way that they did the AC vents, very similar to the design of the headlights and the taillights, the way you have that nice C shape, nicely nestled. We have a bright silver start stop button. And then there is a bit of gloss black on the center console, but I think most people are gonna drive around with this open because that's gonna show off your two cup holders. And then you slide this guy, and then you have your wireless charging, USB-C and USB-A. I think one of the things that was important is that they actually outlined it with the open pore wood, which is important because that part you actually still see when the doors are open. You do have your GMC key fob, just like before, with all the traditional buttons, especially remote start. And remember, the tailgate has that auto sensing technology where you have the key fob in your pocket and you just walk up to the tailgate and it will beep a couple times and then open up for you. You don't have to play hokey pokey with your legs and your arms underneath the back of the vehicle trying to get it to open. It's that nice, they call it auto sensing rear lift gate. Close that all up. More of that awesome leather, full grain leather with the ultimate badge, just like on the outside, the perforations. Open this up, you'll easily be able to put, I would say, one tackle box from Long John Silver's, the Hush Puppies, the popcorn shrimp, the French fries, and then of course, just like your other GMC vehicles, this has that power sliding center console, which then opens up to another storage area. So really, when it comes to versatility, when it comes to functionality, they really have thought about everything in this Yukon. And then of course the seats. When you go ultimate, look at the headrest. You have the Bose sound system in the headrest itself, all of the piping, the stitching, the ultimate badge, the topography map on that full grain leather, nice soft bolstering. Of course, you're gonna have full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. That's 16-way adjustable seats with massage. And then up top, you do have a nice large panoramic sunroof, and you're also gonna have your digital rear view mirror. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I wanna show you behind the wheel of this new Yukon. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. Of course, just like before with your previous model years, getting in and out, very nicely done with a large opening. Love the way that they updated the Denali Ultimate sill plate badge. That lets you know that you did it right every single time you open up the door. There's all of your easy access switch gear for your power seats. Like I said, 16-way adjustable and that massage setting. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here, just like Yukons of the past. I don't know what you're gonna drive if you can't fit in one of these. And right now I'm getting a little bit massaged, so I kind of like that. Steering wheel, the leather, love the contrast stitching, the Denali badge with that GMC grill shape on the horn button, a little bit of dark aluminum trim. You'll notice that we do have Super Cruise, of course. Down below on the side, you're gonna have your paddles for your 10-speed automatic, electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then that smartly organized arrangement for your 4x4 system and all the other pieces of technology, the hill descent control, your 360-degree camera, all those goodies. Speaking of technology, let me introduce you to something new for 2025 model year. You do have the availability of night vision. So this will allow you, if you live out in the boonies and you're going down a back road and it's pitch black, even with your headlights, sometimes an animal can come out of nowhere. This is going to allow you to see that. And you can see with our models that we actually paid to be sitting there in front of the Yukon, you get to see all of the detail, even when things are maybe not so bright. I could then scroll through the rest of our screens on that nice 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. But really, really smart how they're bringing that new technology and such an easy arrangement to understand. Plus, you're still getting Super Cruise. They're adding more and more roads every single day and a massive head-up display. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the mid-row and third row and see what your passengers are gonna think of this updated Yukon. All right, guys, mid-row time in this Yukon Denali Ultimate. Now, something else that's new for 2025 is the addition of the executive package. So you probably heard me talk about this when we did the review of the 2025 Cadillac Escalade. This is now taking the mid-row to an all-new level, to where you're gonna have, as you can see from the side, those power seats and full massage settings for the mid-row passengers to really provide that ultimate in like chauffeuring experience. So if you really want to spoil your passengers, this really brings it big time. You're going to have, of course, your premium sound system, the Bose speakers in the headrest, just like up front. And these seats are pretty much taken right from the front, brought into the back, all of the great stitching, the fine open grain leather, and then of course GMC does it right with their armrests. That is something that nice and thick for a human arm. You're still going to get your touch screens on the back to where you could watch your YouTube, your Hulu, your Netflix. It has the wireless headsets. You could play games on it, the whole 9 yards. Nice large pocket in the back, easily put a 1-pound bag of Twizzlers for the road trips. And then new for 2025 is this 8-inch touchscreen as part of this package. Look at the colors, the graphics for your rear climate control. We got heated seats, ventilated seats, the whole shabam, and you got 2 USB-Cs, 2 HDMIs, and a home power source. But sitting here in this executive package, wow. I mean, the way that everything, it just really functions super well, super comforting, and then of course you have your AC vents and everything else. But why don't we go ahead, let's see if I can squeeze into the third row and see how much space there is in this Yukon. All right guys, third row time, and that's the thing that I find that's so important about the executive package, is that even with the power seats, massage seats, and everything else, you're not losing the third row. So it's not like a package where you lose the whole third row. And you got to remember, on this Ultimate trim, you're getting that real grain leather, all 3 rows, the same stitching, the same topographical map. So they didn't go cheap on this third row. I got USB-Cs, even a nice soft pad for my armrest here. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the last piece of this puzzle, the cargo area, and see if there's anything different. All right guys, like I said earlier, this does have that new GMC technology where it has the auto sensing rear lift gate. You have to have the key fob in your pocket. You approach from a distance, and even with your hands full, the back lift gate will open up. Now, I don't have the key fob on me. I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. So you just hit the button down below if you wanna do it the old-fashioned way. Nice electric assist, and then of course you're still gonna get all of that amazing usable space. Fold down the third row to expand that space. You got your switch gear still on the passenger side and a home power source. Plus, don't forget underneath, there's plenty of room here for a picnic. You could have your PB&Js nicely lined up back here. Maybe Uncrustables if your kids won't eat a regular PB&J and you have to get them Uncrustables, you could fill that up. But why don't we go ahead? I know you want to go for a drive. Trust me, I want to drive it right off the stage and drive it back to Florida. That's how much I think that this Yukon Denali Ultimate is improved on, but we can't yet, so let's wrap it up from Motor City. All right, guys, I tell you, been an awesome time being here in Detroit to see this updated, changed up 2025 Yukon, especially the Yukon Denali Ultimate. Want to thank the whole GMC team for having us out for this monumental event, but let me know what you think. Are you pleasantly surprised with all of the improvements, all the changes, the added technology, still having the availability of the 3 distinct powertrain options? Is that floating your boat? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for Lori Raiti working that camera like a champ. Show us some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.